Hey guys, welcome to next weekly update for Chapter 4. We'll talk about the Chapter 4 discussion question and also get into some of the homework stuff. Just some word of advice as far as moving forward and things that are coming up. The first test, first due date is, or the due date to take the test by is July 10th. So please make sure you're getting paperwork in. Make sure you're not waiting until the last minute on that stuff. Again, don't want to run into any issues if you have your test scheduled for that Friday and then something happens, you have blow out a tire or whatever it might be. So please don't wait till the last minute on that. The homework number 1 has come due, so we'll talk about that here in a second. A shocking number of people did not submit things on that. So remember, in regards to the homeworks only, not the discussion post, but the homeworks, you are allowed to turn things in late after the due date, but it'll cost you 50% of what your max score could possibly be for it. So please don't just miss out on easy points because of this. I sent an email out this morning letting everybody know Monday morning about some of these things and about making sure that you're getting these taken care of. The homework number 2 is due this Sunday, July 5th. Make sure you're not waiting until the last minute. It's you have to interview someone that you know personally and go through the questions and actually summarize what the interview is about. I don't want you going question by question by question giving bullet points. I want you to actually summarize what it is that you learned from that person and put things in your own words, not essentially plagiarizing what their quotes are and just leaving it at that. I want you to summarize things and what it means. But that's due Sunday, July 5th. Again, 4th of July weekend. Make sure you're not waiting until the last minute. I've only got 4 submissions on that so far out of the 70 plus students that are in the class, so please make sure you're getting that in there and getting that taken care of. The homework number 1, we'll talk about this here for a second. What we were basically looking at in regards to homework number 1 was trying to figure out and talk about some of the things that we see and some of the things that are depicted within some of the movies that are out there. What are the things that are coming about from the director standpoint? What is it they're trying to give you as far as an impression of what businesses are like? You see the kind of the symbolism of some of the things and some of the images they want to provoke in people and promote that businesses are dark and businesses are maybe dirty or maybe doing things a little bit in a unsavory manner. So they have these businessmen in the dark suits and sometimes in darker rooms, and you see the imagery and some of the things that go on with it. I'm a big movie fan, so I really appreciate some of the detail that goes into some of these things with some of these movies. The music in the background, the more ominous types of tones that you get with some of the things that are going on that are a little bit dirty or a little bit kind of unethical in some cases. But think about what it does to our images, our viewpoints of what we see, and some of the generalizations we make with regard to some of these businesses and some of these business people. So it's interesting just kind of seeing some of your comments about some of that. But that was basically homework number 1. For discussion for chapter number 4, I asked you guys to go through the values that you find important. What values are most important to you? What values do you think you'd stand up for? And kind of looking at the exercise I gave you in the content section to kind of lead up to that. What conflicts do you see within this? What do you think are things that could happen or what do you think you'd do if some of these values are coming into conflict, and how do you handle that? And most of you kind of have the understanding that, look, yes, these things can conflict and these things can happen. Very few of you took the approach and said, oh, no, nothing's going to happen. No, there's no conflict whatsoever with my values, and there's no way that this could happen. Conflict will happen within your organization, between organizational values, between your personal individual values, and what you stand for, and how you are able to communicate that, how you're able to voice your opinion, voice your stance within your job is going to be a very difficult thing to do, and something that you want to make sure that you kind of know where you stand on some of these things and how you're going to stand up for yourself. And I'll give you an example here. One of the things that I do for the university is that I'm in charge of internships for the management and marketing departments. So I have students get internships, and I have them journal about some of the things they go through, some of the things they witness, and some of the things that mean more to them. And I have students every semester that say, one of my values is integrity, and it's something that I feel like my bosses aren't handling this the right way, or the company's not handling this the right way, so I'm having to kind of go away from what I value, kind of like we talked about with Dennis Joya and the Pinto Fires recall. It's, yes, he started off this way as being this type of person, and then eventually got corporatized, and you've had to change those values and figure out how much you're willing to stand up for some of your personal values versus what the organization wants. But one student in particular that I was interning at Walmart, not to pick on Walmart, it's a huge company, and it's something that they do a lot of good for the world as well. But one of the things that they kept coming back to was working with customer service aspect, and one of her values was integrity and honesty, and it made her actually feel somewhat dirty having to deal with the customer service aspect, because one of the things that Walmart does is they basically will have that capacity that the customer's always right kind of mentality, and they'll say, no matter what, even if they know, and it's beyond a shadow of doubt that that someone's trying to return something that they've broken, or trying to work the system in some way, or trying to get additional money back for something that may not have been at that price, it's something that they stand behind, and they give the customer the benefit of the doubt every single time that this is going on. It's kind of how they train their employees to do this. So it's something that you have to, if you value customer service, if you value integrity, it's something that you're basically being forced to kind of conflict those values, and forced to choose which one you stand for. That if you're going to work in customer service at Walmart, you got to kind of let that integrity bit kind of go by the wayside a little bit, or at least take a lower stance on it, which isn't always something that people are comfortable with, which you shouldn't be. But it's something that, again, these things do conflict, and it is something that we get ethical dilemmas out of. It's something we get something called cognitive dissonance out of, where you get that uncomfortable kind of icky feeling in your stomach about having to choose between what you don't want to do, and being forced to do something that you don't want to do because of those conflicts in your values. But it's something you need to make sure you understand, some of the values that are in place with your organization you're working for or hoping to work for, and what your individual values are, and try and find a good mesh and a good a good company that you do have a lot of the similar values, and it'll make you a much happier person working your jobs and living your lives. And again, making sure that you know how to communicate these things. And chapter 5, I think it is, we get into much more of the communication aspect, making sure that communication is a part of how you make ethical changes, how you do some of these things, and create the environment that makes it so people are comfortable voicing what their opinions are. But it is a very tough thing to do, and a lot of people just aren't strong enough to actually voice their opinions, and it's something that you need to make sure that you're aware of as you get into the corporate world, about what you stand up for, what you don't, and we'll touch on this later on down the semester as well. But just a reminder, short video here today, make sure that you're getting homework number 2 done ahead of time. Don't wait till the last minute. Get signed up and make sure you're ready, and everything you need is into the distance learning offices for taking the exams. Again, don't wait till the last minute on that, and have a happy 4th of July weekend, and make sure you're make sure you're safe with everything. Thanks.